Dear KoLiber friends, sadly I can't attend to your annual congress because I'm in the States at the moment, to be more precisely in Boston, one of the capitals of development of liberty. The last years were definitely shaped by the global economic crisis, the credit crunch, and the mortgage crisis in the US, which caused a lot of global problems as we see now. But the bigger problem was the reaction to those problems. We see almost the same reaction like after the global economic crisis in the late 1920s. Keynesianists get more power, government interventions, so-called stimulus packages, or more protectionist measures going on, and liberty loses even more ground nowadays. I, as a German, could see a little glance of hope or shining beacon in the dark of totalitarianism. My party, the FDP, could reach almost 15% during the last elections, federal elections in September, which showed that even in those times, some people decide to vote for more free markets and more liberty and personal responsibility, because that's the only way we can solve today's problems. Um, when I'm in discussions with people which don't know much about Austrian economics, I mostly figure out the main five problems which brought us to the crisis. Of course, the first problem, the artificial low interest rate, which created the bubble. Second problem is the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac housing program, which started actually after the crisis in the late 20s and was deeper developed by different US presidents. The third problem, or the third driver of the current crisis, is the quasi-oligopoly of the rating agencies. So there were just 3 licenses for rating agencies in the US, which restricted competition about better ratings or more strict ratings. The fourth driver actually was the Basel II banking agreements about equity, because asset-backed mortgages just needed 2% backed equity and not 8% on average credits. So it was an incentive to go to those asset-backed securities. And maybe the fifth driver, a bit smaller driver, was the special status of the investment banks, which were actually allowed to do everything. And so you could outsource problems to, or risky businesses to, the investment banks. So it was absolutely rational to invest in those assets, and the incentives to do that were set by US government and Fed. Actually, for the next years, I project huge inflation rates, because central banks even lowered interest rates. So now if you go to the real interest rates, we have negative interest rates. So you earn money while just getting money from your bank or from the central bank. This will bring us to a lot of challenges. Especially libertarians should focus on telling people why we will have inflation, what's the problem of inflation, and how to defeat inflation or fight against it. Let's talk about gold standard, free banking. You all guys know about this. Some of you better than I do. So we will have a lot of things to do for the next years. I think we are the really first European generation of a libertarian movement. I think in the US they now have the second or third generation, but I think our generation is the first broad movement in Europe, or different movements, but we know each other and we like each other because we are friends. So I'm really proud of KoLiber. I'm also a proud member of KoLiber, and I wish you a very good Congress. And just keep in mind that personal liberty is also very important. It's as important than economic liberties or economic freedom. So governments just shouldn't take our money. They also shouldn't tell us what to believe or whom to love or what to smoke or what to drink. Because for me there is no separation between personal and economic freedom. So I'm really looking forward to go to Poland as soon as I can. and wish you all the best, and live free or die, people say in New Hampshire. All the best, my friends.